So I propose to start. This is actually our road to imagine, but road to imagine is not an issue for us to make a MSI demo. And today we have a pretty big agenda for you, and there are a lot of new functionality added during this week. And let's start from Pavel Bystritsky, who will show you various bug fixes we've done and delivered for issue were found at the time of regression phase 1. Pavel, feel free to share your screen and make a presentation.
Hello, today I will show you two fixed bugs. Let's start from first. It was a problem what configurable product options was not visible on storefront. So let's check our preconditions. As you see, we have configurable product with 3 options. 2 of them are in stock on our custom stock, and 1 is out of stock. So let's open our storefront, go for our product page, and as you can see, we have 2 options what are in stock on our custom stock, and as you remember, green is out of stock, so it's not visible here. And also we can add to cart and do place our order. It was the first bug, and second bug was what we can create multiple stocks with the same name. Now it's fixed. As you see, we have 2 stocks, default and custom. And if we will try to create 1 more stock with the same name, it should be a validation error. Let's try. As you see, we have error, and custom stock will give us the same behavior. But any other name is okay. Also, we can change some information about our stock, and it will save the same without any errors. That's all from my side. Any questions?
No, thank you, Pavel. The next functionality will be presented by Nikolai, who will show you our next steps on the way for Headless MSI. So during this week, we make a segregation for inventory sales module and differentiate and separate UI logic from business logic, and also we've implemented quite a lot of web API tests. So, Nikolai, please feel free your update.
Well, hi guys. I actually have just a quick update about this stuff. So we finished business logic and AdminUI segregation for inventory catalog module, inventory configurable, and inventory sales modules. Currently, I believe we have in progress for inventory segregation. The next and probably the only left will be inventory shipping and inventory low quantity notification modules. Also this week we've covered source selection algorithm by priority with new API functional test, which well moved us to the final stage a little bit closer. So yeah, that's all from me. But the Vadim, he recorded video for us about his work on this week. So let me share you this visit. Just a moment.
Hi guys. This week I could work on a few topics.
The one and interesting one is about downloading and downloadable and virtual products source deduction. So other than in physical products, our source deduction could not work on shipping because there is no shipping for this type of product. So we need to apply the source deduction for invoicing. The other topic I was working on was about extend the salability interface. There is nothing to show, I think, so far. Just about just to tell about how far we are. And the third topic I will start working on, it's still in progress, is about to disable or to show configurable products out of stock if all childs are not active anymore. So first of all, the virtual products, therefore I already create two orders. I'm currently in a single source mode and a default store. And as I told before, I just need to create the invoice in order to reduce, to deduct the given sources. So in this order, I ordered quantity 5 for this virtual product, and we can see the reservations in the database. So there is a reservation for this product of 5 pieces, and we can see in our current aggregated stock there is still 24 left for this product. So now I create the invoice, and this time I will create the whole invoice, and the second order is for partial invoicing example. So invoice created, and we expect here that the amount, the quantity was reduced for 5 pieces, and our reservation, we have competitive reservation here. So I see there is still missing metadata, so I need also to add them afterwards. So now I will invoice the second order. And this time I will invoice it partially. For example, 6, make 2, not just a half. Update quantity, submit. So we can see we have a competitive reservation for 2, and our sources, our stock is deducted on 2 pieces. So now we can create the second invoice. So our order is completed now, and we have the deduction here and the reservation compensation here. So I will add now some additional sources. And second stock. From my default web page.
So now can I assign the additional sources to my virtual product? And I think the more interesting part here is when we have the case that we have a order with more quantity than there is in one single source. For example, we have here only 2 and here, for example, 15. Let's save this. And we'll look in the database. So we see there is a second stock created with an aggregated quantity of 17. So that means for us we can buy 17 pieces of this product. So I buy, for example, 7. So here we are. Our stock is still the same, but we now have here a reservation of 7 pieces. And in our admin view, we have the order here. Now we can invoice it. For invoicing virtuals and downloadables, we used the source deduction algorithm. Currently there is the priority based one, so there is no admin view for us in order to select which sources will be deducted. So, but our algorithm should do it by completely automatically. So I invoice this order. We see there are 2 competitive reservations because we have deduction and several sources. We see the whole amount was decreased, and let's take a look to the source items. As we see that our source 1 is completely go down to 0, and source 2, where we have 15 before, is gone down to 10. We also can see this in our product grid. Alright, so this is about source deduction for virtual products. As I told before, I also worked on extend the interface for a scalable product interface, and this is currently in review, so there is nothing to show, but just code changes. Yeah, and the other topic I'm working on. So that's so far for me. Thank you. Bye.
So yeah, and that's all from my side.
Thank you, Colin. So now I will show you an update which we made for the source selection page, and I will start sharing my screen. So let's add some products to shopping cart. I just halt and after that up my background box, so the cache should be warmed up a little bit. So I would like you to make, before I make a presentation, I would like you to show what is going to be presented. So we, after the regression phase 1, there were several issues found regarding the source selection and the source deduction, and we fixed and delivered all of that issue in the scope of one pull request. So we fixed the source deduction issues. Also fix issue with the create shipment with the back button on the source selection algorithm, which is supposed to redirect us to correct order, and other issues. So let's place an order now. So fill in all the fields to place an order. So the order is placed successfully. So and now let's go to admin panel and process this order from the merchant's point of view. So here you see the list of orders, and let's open the order which we created just now. And now let's proceed to the shipment page. Because order could be fulfilled from different places, we see the source selection page, which propose you make a source deduction based on our default algorithm, which is priority based. So here, one of the first changes we fixed here, we substitute the description of the algorithm in the dropdown by the algorithm name. Another issue was regarding usability, and probably you already pay attention that in our previous state we have quite a lot of inputs here, and all that inputs were enabled even when there is no any source selection here. So after the recent discussion with Felix, with Anton Krill, with Mark Brinton, we decided that it would be much better from the usability point of view just to enable fields for particular source. And when there is no choices, all the fields are disabled. So let's make partial shipment here. And for example, like let's check the behavior of the back button. Back button should lead us to the order page. Before that, it was not this particular order, but it was the order grid. So here we fix the behavior of the back button. So now again, let's make a partial shipment for German stock. For example, if we decide not to make any shipment from here, we are redirecting to the shipment page with the only item to be shipped. And now we submit the shipment. For example, now excuse me. For example, let's cancel this order and we make the cancellation. So here I will demonstrate you that we added appropriate reservations to the order in our reservation table. So on the previous demo meeting, we demonstrated you that we added the metadata, but for metadata we presented you last time, it was just the data of quote. But because at the time when we placed reservation the week before, we placed reservation at the register product sale event, and at this time we don't have order placed. So currently we moved this event and we added a plugin for the order placement event, and now we decided that it would be much better to track the order ID but not the quote. So that will help us to find the corresponding closing reservation, so compensation reservation, and our cleanup mechanism would be much more, much smarter, because we will make a grouping based not just stock ID and SKU, but also by business event ID, which is in our case order ID. So to demonstrate this functionality, I will connect to MySQL. Probably it's here. So you can see that currently we add reservation data. For the reservation data, we add an event. I will just show you. So the event, the business event, in our case is the order placed. So in a way how it's usually done in event sourcing, we use the event in the past, like order placed, shipment created. So this is kind of pretty typical for most of the eventual consistent system throwing the events. So here we see that event order created, referring to order with ID 2. And after that we created the partial shipment, making a shipment of just 10 items of SKU test simple product. And after that we cancel it order, and we introduce the cancellation for 2 other items. So the leftover of SKU test simple product and all the number we ordered for the test simple product too. Currently there is no shipment, there is no order cancelled metadata, because it's not merged to 2.3 develop branch, and I'm making my demo from current mainline. But actually this change is already also implemented, and now we have the full scope of the business events and the metadata covering all of that events. So this is actually update from Sergey's side. Actually, Sergey currently is on the meeting. So Sergey, thank you very much for your updates. Sergey is a little bit shy to make the presentation by himself, but he helped us a lot during this week with all of that functionality, with all of that bug fixes and making changes. Because actually the latest request for changing UI on the product, on the source selection algorithm, we asked Sergey to do that just 3 a.m. by Ukrainian time, and he prepared that for today's demo meeting. So guys, if you have any question regarding the functionality presented by Vadim or by me or by other guys, feel free to ask any question, and I will try to answer them.
Well, I have a question about functional tests. What's the plan for covering these scenarios?
We are, so it is in our to-do list. So this test which exists in a heap test, and the heap test is a kind of a backlog for John, who is currently take the use cases covered in a heap test and provide the MTF test for these test scenarios.
Okay, yeah, but so where we so how far behind on coverage of scenarios that we implement we are? Like, okay, so we implemented the scenario, and when do we expect those scenarios to be automated? John, that's probably a question to John.
Yeah. So I can see whether John is on the call right now.
Okay. So do you have this information? Like, what percentage of tests
a week ago we had something like 30 scenarios covered. We still need to add some of the scenarios. So current test base in our heap test is not full. So I consider that this is kind of like 20 or 30% of all the test scenarios need to be covered.
Okay, thank you.
But also, it would be interesting for you, Anton, because we had a meeting regarding that. We started to provide, and Nikolai mentioned that we started to provide web API test for the source selection and for the order handling, adding the source code to shipment placement to make sure that we support MSI in a headless way, and we can create an order, and so we can place an order, and after that handle that order and run the source selection algorithm via via web API, and after that create a shipment specifying the source code.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other question? Maybe you have some technical question regarding the reservation, for example, or
I have a question about compaction. I think we discussed them a couple weeks ago, but we're out of time. I have to jump to other calls.
Okay.
Discuss it on grooming.
Okay, cool. We discuss it on grooming. So thank you very much, guys, for participation, and thank you to our contributors, especially Vadim and Sergey, for their fruitful contribution and provide us an ability to make a demonstration in the Austin airport.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So thank you very much, and see you next week, guys.
Right, thank you.
Bye.